Hello everybody, Sporp here. I've had a rough week that is slowly getting better. I hope you're having a good day. I have a user comment, a user question. If you have any questions, you can post them in my comments, or you can send them to contact@sporp.shop, and I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. But let's get into a question by Alex. Hi Sporp, I've watched your latest video. Sorry about what happened. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I've been learning how to code for the last 15 months with the 100 Devs community. I finished Node and I'm learning React. The thing is, I'm a terrible procrastinator. I am too. You come by it honestly in the programming profession. My question is, how did you learn React and how long did it take you to be comfortable enough to make your own web applications? Thanks, Alex. So we're gonna jump into three different pieces here. One is procrastination. So procrastination is a very honest character trait that a lot of developers have. The allure of programming is that ideally you get to code something, you get to build it, and then you never have to touch it again, and it's a problem in your life that's solved forever. However, when you get into the workforce, you're going to hear a phrase called living document. Every code base for every company ever is a living document because businesses are sort of organic creatures that feed on money and poop out value for other people to use. And because, like we living organisms, we're constantly adapting to our environment, environmental changes, the ways of the world, a business also has to constantly adapt, which means the code base has to constantly adapt, which means as a coder, you got to get used to the fact that you are never done. There's a great quote about art, about how art is never finished, it's only abandoned. The same thing goes for code. This website isn't done, it's abandoned. And you're gonna have to be okay with that. You're gonna have to let go of needing to be finished with things and learn that programming is a constant learning process. I'm a computer engineer by trade. I've worked as a developer for the past 5 or 6 years now, from junior to mid-level to senior. And when it comes to learning React, before this site, I was fairly React light. I did work on it for the 2 startups that I've worked for. The first thing you got to do before you learn React is learn HTML and CSS. You should be able to MVP a sort of idea of a website in your head and then create it with HTML and CSS before you jump to React. Because React is sort of I wouldn't say necessarily a superset, but it is an assistive library for a interactive functional website. This site uses React, but the base of it is an HTML and CSS document with individual pieces that are rendered and take in data and send data to the back end and take data back and re-render. So you got to think about what your site is, what it's being used for, and who is it helping. And when you can answer those questions of what is your site and what does it do, integrating React into it becomes much more simple. I notice, this is a great little tidbit that I learned back when I was working for a bank from a guy, is if you can describe your problem in a problem statement and an answer to the problem statement in clear, plain English, you can code just about anything. But you need to understand your problem first. For me, I use my YouTube Unfollower series. I figured out my market, who is using the app, what do they need and why. And then I was able to convert all that information into a site that you could pay for to perform certain actions, before that blew up in my face. I would suggest coding a very simple site for something that you care about. Make it a game, make it about a game community, make it about a YouTube community, make it about something near and dear to your heart, because when you hit those valleys, and you're going to hit those valleys of, oh my God, I can't do this, I'm a failure, I will never be able to make any of this stuff work, yada, 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 all that negative self-talk nonsense that I find myself falling into from time to time. You need to have a why to carry through those dark nights to get you to your final product. This was a lot of late nights, working late into the night, learning React, using the React docs, which is super helpful. There's tons of YouTube tutorials, which are super helpful. And also just playing around. CodePen, JS Fiddle, great little sites for trying out, I don't know if CodePen's the right one, but JS Fiddle definitely, just try stuff out, see how to make a hook, a state. How do I update the state of this text box? How do I populate this text box from a different state? What's use context? What's use memo? What's all those different hooks? The use effect, also super useful. Now, if you want me to go through my code base for this site, I'd be happy to. Just let me know in the comments and I'll carve out a little time and I can show you the whole code base since this thing is basically dead in the water. And that brings us to the next step. When was I comfortable enough to make my own web app? I never was. I've made web apps. From inception at one startup, I built a React, Node, Postgres site, web app from scratch for a customer base for a paid product. But that was my first time doing it and I was getting paid to do it, so it was nice. But when it came to this was all on my own. I had some front-end experience from building my own site and from basically conversations with front-end guys and a little bit of work, but you got to get out of your comfort zone and you got to try new things and you need to challenge yourself if you want to get better. You don't get better by sitting around procrastinating and hoping the world will come to you. You got to go to the world and you got to deal with mean comments and naysayers and the eyes of those who doubt you, and you just got to fight through. And that's how you get better. This is a huge piece of advice for if you want to get hired anywhere. People want to hire people that have already climbed the mountain so that they can lead others up the mountain. If you know how to make a Node.js app, a full stack web app, a company doesn't want to waste their time on someone that they have to educate. They should, because then that's how they get the ideal candidate, is through learning, understanding the company's needs, and essentially building the business solution that is applicable and necessary for their own company. But they want you to learn this stuff on your own first so they don't have to waste 3 to 6 months or a year's time getting you up to speed. That's why companies look for programmers with college degrees. They don't need them, but they know that you know your algorithms and your data structures and all that other jazz. So I was never comfortable. I'm never really comfortable at all in most situations. I'm a little bit of a high stress, high anxiety sort of person. But I deal. And I make things and then I put cool stuff on the internet, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, and that is the nature of the world. So try stuff out, mess around in sandboxes. I can't teach these things to you and make you learn them. I can show you what I did if you want to see what's going on under the engine here. I'd be happy to show it off, since I don't think I'm going to get any other money any other way out of this thing. So, thanks for the question, Alex. I hope you're doing well. Hope you don't procrastinate too much. It can be the death knell of you if you let the sort of, the I don't wannas and the icks and the ugh. If you let them take over, you're not going to progress forward. So just keep progressing, keep learning, keep trying. And I wish you the best. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Write an email to this email address, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Mwah. Love ya. Bye.